We begin tonight from a safe social distance with weather, and our temperatures are dropping and snow starting to fall. Our next winter storm is moving in.
Now, Brendan, you're expecting a lot more snow to develop.
Yeah, absolutely. We're just really seeing the leading edge of some snow right now. It's still mostly rain, but we're going to see a lot more of that snow overnight tonight. Let's take a look at the Doppler network to start things off. You look off to the north and west, places like Cutbank getting into some snow. We've got reports of snow falling in Choteau. Havre probably going to be seeing some snow soon. Great Falls getting closer to some rain showers. Helena, just some light precipitation here and there. Haven't really gotten into the snow yet. It's a little bit too warm for snow at this point in both Helena and Great Falls. Temperatures there still in the 40s, but it's 35 in Havre, and Cutbank has fallen all the way down to 29 degrees. So that cold air is really starting to settle in to north central Montana, and those are big drops already compared to where we were earlier in the day, where we had high temperatures anywhere from about 50 degrees to 70 degrees. And again, those temperatures will continue to drop, and that snow is going to continue to push south through the night tonight and through the day tomorrow. And with that, we're expecting some heavier snow, so we do have a winter storm warning in effect for a good portion of the area, including Great Falls and Helena, and some winter weather advisories in effect too. And we're going to have a lot more on this winter storm coming up later in the show.
All right, thanks, Brandon. Well, there's one new case of coronavirus in Cascade County tonight. It brings the total to 13 cases. The Cascade City County Health Department reports the new case is a woman in her 70s who traveled out of state. The good news, 8 people have so far recovered from coronavirus in Cascade County. Now, today marks 4 weeks since the first cases of COVID-19 were found in Montana. As of this morning, the state recorded 365 cases of the virus. This chart shows the growth of the COVID-19 over the past 28 days. The virus has hospitalized 41 people in total. To date, about 45% of Montana's cases have recovered. Lewis and Clark County has 16 cases, and half of the state's 6 coronavirus deaths have occurred in Toole County, which has 18 cases.
Montana education leaders are recommending school districts extend distance learning through the end of the school year and not hold large in-person graduation ceremonies. The recommendations come in a letter sent by the Office of Public Instruction, the Board of Public Education, and the Montana Public Education Center to county and district superintendents. The letter cites National Health Authority recommendations that social distancing guidelines be in place through May and possibly into the summer. The letter, according to the letter, the recommendations aim to provide guidance for the planning of the remainder of the academic year and to make sure students are recognized for their hard work. Governor Bullock's school closure and stay-at-home order are set to expire on April 24th, but that could be extended.
Since the start of the coronavirus emergency, grocery stores in Montana have faced challenges in keeping some of the items on their shelves, and that includes the stores in small towns. MTN's Jonathan Ambarian talked to one owner about what it takes to keep his businesses stocked.
At the D&D Food Town in Lincoln, some of the aisles still look fairly full, but there are some obvious gaps.
I actually got some toilet paper in Lincoln yesterday. There's still some on the shelf today. Soups are a tough deal. Flour, bread, anything cheap, Meerschaum noodles, things that people just need to get by for a quick dinner. They're gone. People are coming in buying them. As soon as they come off the truck, people are buying them.
Owner Ron Arambari says it's been hard for the last 3 weeks to keep the most sought-after items in stock.
Put it this way, as soon as the word pandemic was put out by the government, that's when all stores went crazy.
Arambari also owns stores in Choteau, Fairfield, and Stanford. They all get the vast majority of their groceries delivered through a cooperative in Utah. He said it's easier than it was to get what he needs, but still far from normal.
Our first couple grocery loads were days and days late. We'd get maybe 30% of the product that we ordered. So far this week, I got 43% of the groceries that I ordered, and trucks are running on time.
The stores also saw people coming in from out of town looking for the same items. Arambari says some of his local customers are concerned about the outside traffic, but he understands why it's happening.
If it was up to me and I went to a big store in a big town and they were out of something, and I went to a smaller town and they had the product, I would buy it for my family. I don't turn anybody away for anything. We're here to help no matter what we can do.
Arambari says he wants to recognize his staff for the work they've done during this time.
I've got 80 plus employees. They're on the front line. They're working face to face with these people every day to accommodate, to keep society going right now. And it's really tough. It really is.
In Lincoln, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.
Great Falls Job Service officials say they've received more than 2,000 unemployment insurance claims last week. They want to let the public know their computer system's been reprogrammed to handle the amount of new unemployment insurance filings. User PINs have also been reset, and those who are self-employed can now file a claim as well. Manager Beth Schmidt told MTN many applicants are applying for unemployment for the first time. She's hearing questions about federal funding in the stimulus package that provides $600 weekly payments to those collecting benefits.
If you have already filed a claim that is in process, or you filed a claim that you're currently receiving benefits, you do not need to take any additional action to receive that additional $600 per week.
And Schmidt says they have no timeline right now for when those federal funds will be distributed. They can be reached online, over the phone, and by email. Those details are on our website.
The $2 trillion Coronavirus Aid Relief and Economic Security Act, or CARES Act, impacts all Americans in some form. Montana Ag Network's Lane Nordland shares how the relief funding will aid agriculture.
Thursday, President Trump, in a tweet and during a coronavirus task force press conference, discussed how his administration will be sending financial relief to the nation's farmers and ranchers who have all been impacted by COVID-19.
You see what's happened. The farmers got hurt very badly by all of this. People are eating less from the standpoint that there's no restaurants are open, no businesses are open, no hotels are open. They'll start to come back, but we're going to be helping out our farmers.
The CARES Act includes $49 billion, or just under 2.5% of the $2 trillion measure for agriculture-related provisions. The act provides a total of $24.6 billion, or 50% of the total ag funding for domestic food programs like SNAP and child nutrition programs. Funding specifically for production agriculture includes the Commodity Credit Corporation, which bolsters the commodity and income support programs, was replenished with $14 billion. Add that to current funds on hand, the CCC will have $24 billion to assist producers. In addition, there is also $9.5 billion in direct assistance for producers available.
Then they set aside $9.5 billion for livestock and farmers market type things, but primarily livestock, which normally doesn't qualify for any of the commodity relief plans. We just look forward to that money coming. Of course, we just want markets that are fair. We don't necessarily need government money, but we do need some help right now because things are so upside down.
Just how will that funding be allocated? Agriculture groups have all weighed in on the eligibility criteria for the funding they would like to see, but it's expected that early next week, USDA will announce the final details. Reporting, Lane Nordland, MTN News.
A lawsuit has been filed against the city of Helena for their efforts in the pandemic. Brian Miller is a lawyer in Helena and is the one who filed the lawsuit. He says the city is failing to meet CDC guidelines on a citywide basis. One example is the Bill Roberts Golf Course. The golf course was originally closed on March 27th following the governor's stay-at-home order. The golf course reopened on April 7th with precautions, but Miller says it should remain closed.
They said, okay, we're going to open the golf course, but then we're going to put things in place to stop people from spreading the disease. And it's like, well, why don't you just keep the golf course down? I mean, it's like they're creating a risk, and then they're saying, yeah, we know it's risky, so be careful. It's kind of like, no, just right now, I think we can wait to play golf.
The city of Helena says they are unable to comment on the lawsuit at this time.
Well, today, Northwestern Energy announced plans to repurpose the original Rainbow Powerhouse along the Missouri River have fallen through. Without a plan in place for the old hydro facility, the building is now scheduled to be demolished in the fall. MTN's Matt Holzapfel has the latest on the fate of the powerhouse that has stood for over a century.
On Friday, California-based software company Sustain Incorporated told Northwestern Energy that it would not lease the original Rainbow Dam powerhouse in Cascade County. As plans for a new data center fell through, so did almost a decade's worth of work to find a new use for the original powerhouse.
Every possibility to repurpose the facility has been explored. We have worked in a partnership with the volunteers that are at Cascade County Historical Preservation. Old Rainbow Powerhouse Repurposing Committee.
Without a plan to repurpose the original facility, it will be demolished in the fall.
With this development from Sistine, Northwestern Energy has notified FERC, which is the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission that oversees our permit to run a hydro facility on the Missouri River, that Northwestern does intend to proceed with a plan to raise the original Rainbow Powerhouse. The demolition of this facility is expected to begin this fall.
The original building was decommissioned in 2014 after the completion of a new powerhouse 1 year earlier. Northwestern Energy attributes the difficulty in finding a partner to repurpose the old facility to its location, among other things.
The challenges for that include safety and security restrictions because of the facility's remoteness and location on the Missouri River, as well as the fact that it's on site with an active hydro operation, limited the type of project that could potentially use this building.
Northwestern Energy will continue to work with the Cascade County Historical Preservation Old Rainbow Powerhouse Repurposing Committee to find ways to put elements of the old powerhouse on display in Cascade County. In Great Falls, Matt Olzaffel, MTN News.
Coronavirus isn't keeping outdoor enthusiasts from heading to their favorite fishing holes.
But there are some important things to remember before you cast your line.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. The 10 o'clock news continues on Montana's News Leader.
Welcome back. The COVID-19 pandemic continues to put its mark on history as there will be no horse racing in Great Falls this summer. Combined with the cancellation of the bucking horse sale in Miles City, it's believed that Montana will be without an organized horse race for the first time since the 1800s. Our Isaiah Dunk has more.
This is what the scene at the horse racetrack at Montana Expo Park is supposed to look like in late July. 5 days, hundreds of horses, thousands of fans, the biggest horse race in the state. But that won't be happening this year. The Great Falls Turf Club announced Thursday that the 2020 state race meet is canceled due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Club President Sparky Kotke said the group began to worry in late February.
Like somebody I heard say, it's like a 1 in 100 year epidemic going on here, something that probably won't happen again in my lifetime. So yeah, we never had any idea that anything like this would ever happen. Yeah.
There were a lot of factors to consider. Obviously public health, but also finances. With many businesses struggling just to stay afloat, asking the usual sponsors for money was simply not going to happen.
We've had some calls from some horsemen and that type of thing, and they're not real happy, but I think most people understand that it's the right thing to do at this time. It was a tough decision, and we hate to not race this year, but I think for what's going on in our community and our world, it's the best thing for us here in Great Falls.
In Great Falls, Isaiah Dunk, MTN News.
There is some good news, though. By canceling this year, the club won't take a hit financially, so it should be safe for next summer. The club will meet with the Cascade County Commissioners and the Montana Board of Horse Racing later this fall to set up the 2021 races.
Well, since the implementation of social distancing, FWP sites have seen a big increase in usage as people seek outdoor recreation. FWP says the number of people they've been seeing at fishing sites is more like what they see in the summer months rather than early spring. Fishing this time of year can be great before spring runoff begins. There are more than 300 FWP fishing access sites across the state, and people can get their licenses online. People are asked to follow social distancing, and camping, group use sites, and fishing piers are closed to the general public for health concerns. However, the fishing piers are still open for individuals with disabilities. FWP asked the public leave the piers available to those who wouldn't have fishing opportunities otherwise.
It's also really important for folks with disabilities, if they're going to get out, they need to get out and get a little fresh air and some sunshine and enjoy the outdoors, that they have a place that's safe for them to go.
FWP also strongly encouraged anyone recreating in bear country to have bear spray. Proper use of bear spray has proven to be the best method for reducing the severity of an attack and fending off threatening or attacking bears.
Well, snow is starting to fall across north central Montana, and we're going to see a lot more through the night tonight and into the day tomorrow. We'll talk about how much after the break.
Now, here's your Storm Tracker weather forecast with meteorologist Brandon Michaels.
Still seeing mostly rain this evening, but we're starting to see a lot more blue on the Doppler network too. Let's take a look at what we're dealing with. Down toward Helena, not too much. Some of the surrounding higher terrain is getting a little bit of rain and snow. Great Falls, not much falling currently, but there is a pretty heavy band of rain to the north. We've got some rain off toward Glasgow, and even starting to see the snow there. Really, that rain-snow line kind of extends over toward Havre and then down toward Choteau, but that's going to continue to move to the south and to the east through the night tonight. So FutureTrack doing a pretty good job picking up on that rain-snow line. Not showing quite enough activity over in northeastern Montana in general, though. You guys aren't going to see quite as much by midnight. Starting to see already a little bit of mixing pretty close to Great Falls. Helena probably not seeing too much moisture yet, but by about 2 to 4 a.m. Helena is going to start to get into some snow, and realistically by 4 we're looking at widespread snow all across north central Montana into tomorrow morning. Same story. Here's 8 a.m. so as you're waking up, probably a pretty good layer of fresh snow on the ground, and we're going to continue to see more snow through the day. Noon, lots of snow. By 4 p.m. starting to see some breaking up of that snow, mainly off to the north, and we'll continue to see that trend from north to south through the evening hours on Saturday, and then actually a decent amount of sunshine for our Sunday. That's not too bad until our next little batch of snow drops down, but this one really not looking all that significant. So we're going to focus on the snowfall forecast here through Easter morning, but really through about Saturday night. Still going 3 to 5 for Helena, 5 to 8 for Great Falls, 6 to 10 for Lewistown, 1 to 3 for Jordan, less to the north, about 1 to 3 for Havre, 3 to 6 for Cutbank. You get west of Cutbank, though, we're going to see some more higher totals in places around the Rocky Mountain front, anywhere from about 5 to 8 to 6 to 10 inches there. And as usual, more snow is expected in the mountains. 6 to 10 for Marias Pass, 12 to 18 in the Little Belts. For Kings Hill Pass, 8 to 12 for Rogers Pass, 5 to 8 for McDonald Pass. So quite a bit of mountain snow going to be falling, and snow really isn't the only thing we're concerned about with this system. Already starting to get a little bit breezy off to the north. We're going to see those stronger winds expand south through the late night hours and into tomorrow. So with 30-mile-per-hour gusts possible, that means blowing and drifting snow, which means reduced visibility, even worse travel conditions. Ideally, there's not a lot of travel happening tomorrow, but if you do have to travel for some reason, I would expect it to get pretty bad, especially early in the day tomorrow. Now let's talk about temperatures, because that's another concern. We're going to see temperatures dropping through the night tonight. This model probably a little bit slow on those temperature drops, but definitely by the time we get to tomorrow morning, we're looking at temperatures across the board that are pretty much well below freezing. And with rain falling tonight and some wet snow, we're probably going to end up with some wet roadways, meaning we could see some freezing and some ice on the roadways by tomorrow morning, and then we're going to see that snow through the day, so accumulating snow on top of that ice by tomorrow afternoon. Temperatures, maybe with the exception of northeast Montana, very cold, most of us in the 20s, so temperatures are going to be slowly falling through the day for most of us. They'll continue to fall into the evening hours as far as feels like temperatures. Wind chills by tomorrow afternoon, anywhere from the 20s off to the east to as cold as single digits up toward Cutbank. So some big changes in the forecast here. Heavy snow dropping temperatures tomorrow in Great Falls with a high of 33 at midnight, mostly sunny on Sunday, and then we see a gradual improvement through the forecast. Temperatures finally getting into the 50s by Thursday and also into Friday. Same story in Helena, a little bit warmer but still dropping through the day, clearing into Sunday, sun and clouds by Monday, and then actually a pretty significant warm up toward the end of the forecast. Things actually getting pretty close to normal for this time of year. Tom?
Coming up later, find out how the COVID pandemic has affected the local bridge club, where senior citizens congregate to enjoy competition and time with their friends.
Welcome back. The COVID-19 pandemic has prevented many around the country from engaging in some of their favorite pastimes, including those in the most vulnerable age groups. MTN's Tom Wiley shows us how stay-at-home guidelines have impacted the local bridge club in Great Falls.
Well, it might sit empty right now, but before the COVID-19 pandemic shut down the Big Sky Bridge Club, there were nightly games here featuring dozens from the senior community in Great Falls. The club members miss the competition, but they also miss their friends.
Almost everyone who plays bridge is in the age group that we're really concerned about. Yeah, you get to be really good friends. You get to, we're of an age where we need help. We're always there for each other. So it's been a big blast to us to not play bridge.
Bridge is more than just a game and a pastime. For many in Great Falls, it helps them stay sharp.
It really keeps your mind going. You know, I think as you're growing older, You think about being physical and taking care of your body. Their mind's part of the body.
Losing the game this way is tough, but there's optimism that it could all end up being a net positive. More time at home for the population means more time for people to pick up a new game. So why not bridge?
Yeah, bridge is really fun for everybody and competitive. We have sit-down lessons here in normal times, but you can learn online. They have great tools online, a good website to go to for anybody can learn from there.
Numbers in the club have declined over the years, but when things return to normal, Sherrick says the Big Sky Bridge Club will keep its doors open and there's room at the table for everybody.
It's a game that kids can play, that you can learn as a teenager. Most of us in my generation learned in college or learned in high school, and we've been playing it all our lives. There was sort of a hiatus in there where people didn't play games. Now we're back to playing games. So it's going to change us a little bit, but we're going to have fun.
Reporting in Great Falls, Tom Wiley, MTN News.
Last night, 2 Montana high school basketball teams made their way into the national spotlight. On ESPN Sports Center with Scott Van Pelt. Van Pelt recognized the Helena Capital girls, specifically the seniors who saw their high school careers come to an abrupt end due to COVID-19. Katie Garson-Forba, head coach for the Capital girls, said when she saw her team on the screen last night, it was one of the greatest moments for her as a coach.
That was a really cool thing that I hope they will have that memory for the rest of their lives. As I was watching it last night, I mean, I was excited when we knew that they were going to be on there, but when it came on and it showed those girls and those 4 seniors, that was one of the most prideful moments I think I've had as a coach, of just what a cool thing for those 4 to get that recognition.
Van Pelt also gave a shout out to the Missoula-Hellgate boys basketball team. We'll have a final look at weather right after this.
Taking one more look at the Doppler network here. Not too much going on in Helena at this point. If you go up to Great Falls, pretty calm too, but just north of Great Falls and really moving into Great Falls, we've got a pretty heavy band of snow, and you don't have to go too much farther off to the north and east that we're running into some more of that snow. As far as totals, 5 to 8 for Great Falls, 3 to 5 for Helena, 6 to 10 for Lewistown. Some more in the mountains, cold, wind, it's all coming our way. Happy Easter, everybody.
That's right. It was already a stay-at-home weekend because of coronavirus. And now, because of the weather, the same thing.
Just doubling up on it.
All right. Well, thanks to everyone for tuning in. Have a happy Easter and stay safe.